First snafu of the game, I forgot to unmute myself. It's first cast in a very long time, so if that's the only one we have, it'll be big thumbs up. Welcome to Nexus Gaming Series, Season 14, Opening Night, Division C West, U.S. Army Esports versus Crimson 5. Talk about our teams for a quick minute while they get the lobby set up. U.S. Army Esports has been around a couple seasons now. They were B West 2 seasons ago. They were C West once again last season. They were the number 5 seed last season with a 15-10 map record, and they were tough out in the first round, losing the set 2-1 against Cats on My Keyboard. Crimson 5 is a new team to NGS, so welcome to them. Not only are they a new team, but most of their players have actually not played in NGS before either. Team Captain Rewind has a couple of seasons as a sub. Their most experienced player is actually a former teammate of mine, Shadonis. He played seasons 7, 8, and 9 before taking a couple seasons off. And back in Season 8 when we played together, we were the number 1 seed in C West and had a pretty good run to the C West finals. So Shadonis, kind of the most experienced player, hopefully can help guide his new teammates through the differences of regular Heroes of the Storm versus a kind of more organized competitive game that you'll see when you jump into NGS. And they have their work cut out for them with an experienced winning squad to kind of dip their feet, right in the fire and see where they're going to stack up in what should be a pretty competitive C West, I think. Let's go over to see where map number 1 will be played, and that's going to be Dragonshire. That is going to be the selection of U.S. Army Esports as Crimson 5 won the coin toss, and they opted for first pick. So we are in lobby waiting for one more player to join. U.S. Army banning out Cursed Hollow and Sky Temple. Crimson 5 taking out the 2-lane maps. No Braxis holdout. No Battlefield of Eternity. Now, the last member of U.S. Army Esports has arrived. U.S. Army Esports, not only a veteran team who's been around a couple seasons, but they return with pretty much, from what I can tell, their core roster intact from last season. So really hoping to build on the success they had last season and maybe make a push deep in the playoffs. This is the kind of team that could be set up to do that. A winning record last season, some playoff experience, and you put it together this season, and you never know what happens. So just waiting for the draft to get started here. So season 14 of NGS, we had 134-7 teams sign up this season, which is definitely a fantastic turnout. Broken up into, let's see, Storm, Heroic, Nexus, and then A, B, C, D, E. So 13 divisions. 137, I believe, was the final count teams. So definitely a healthy community. And opening night is tonight. This is one of 3 games to kind of be the opening game for Season 14. 2 other games going on, and those would be currently Midnight of Mummies and Psystorm Dragoons in A East being casted by Ector and Beyonce Knowles, which is a great team name, and Out of Pocket in Division E East being casted by Bloody Drapes. There are a couple other games later in the evening, but unfortunately, as of right now, none of them have casters. We'll see if I can see if anybody grabbed them at the last minute, and we'll see if we can throw however many viewers we pick up over to there at the end. But we are getting moving into the draft for game number 1.
Dragonshire.
Apologies in advance for any snafus we have during the game that I completely revamped my my caster overlay. So it's always kind of one thing you overlooked. And actually, I can already see one now. Normally, I have my little mongoose logo in the corner, but we'll add it for next time. First ban going over to Crimson 5. I think the meta is in a pretty good place right now as far as a wide variety of bans that you're going to see, and that is most certainly one of them. Stukov, a fairly common ban. The Lurking Arm is pretty oppressive when utilized correctly. Johanna, another common ban right now. Wave Clear, very generalist, very safe tank. Basically, any tank player worth their salt should be able to play Jo. She's really effective. Best Wave Clear tank in the game. Probably the safest overall tank in the game as far as getting away with mistakes. So no Jo, and support choke coming out by Crimson 5. No Brightwing Global can be valuable on D-Shire. And last ban from USAE. Gonna be Dahaka. Another global taken off the board. And Dragonshire, one of the maps where the solo laner can really shine first pick Anduin real quick for Crimson 5. One of the advantages for a team like Crimson 5 in a scenario like this, new team, mostly new players to NGS, is there's not really a lot of data to do your homework if that's the kind of thing you like to do. You can check the HOTS logs, of course, but if you're a team like US Army Esports, you can go back and look at past seasons and see what kinds of things they like to play, especially when you've had a fairly stable roster like they've had. So maybe a slight information advantage available to Crimson 5 here. And see, that's another thing I forgot to change, is to turn my cursor off. Let me see if I can do that real quick. Greymane and Lucio for US Army Esports here. Shadona's going to play Leoric and Jaina. So tank and second damage needed still for Crimson 5. And mid ban coming up for US Army Esports. Diablo banned by US Army Esports. With a tank still needed from Crimson 5. Also still needing a tank on their own side, so that's not really something they are looking for, apparently. And tank ban for Crimson 5. No Garrosh, so banning the tanks out despite despite neither team actually having a tank on the board. And then the Anubarak pick, something you're seeing a lot of, at least in my games. I'm seeing a ton of Anubarak. 4 seconds into Lunara. So vision control by Lunara on Dragonshire I think is really valuable and kind of underrated, frankly. That little vision wisp on the Bermuda Triangle can really help you control those bottom 2 lanes, which, I mean, on Dragonshire, basically bottom lane is the win condition, right? Almost every game you see on Dragonshire is won through the bottom lane. So still waiting on their bruiser. No rush to pick that, as Crimson 5 has already selected theirs.
You're ready.
And I like Crimson 5's comp here. It's, you know, as honestly as straightforward meat and potato comp as you can get. Jaina and Raynor with Ace in the hole at 1 go together really well. ETC, kind of standard, stereotypical tank. Leoric, standard offlaner. So very straightforward, easy to execute comp for Crimson 5. U.S. Army Esports going to take Blaze, who's in a great spot right now, to round out their 5. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I am a basic caster, so no polls to throw at you. But for those of you that are hanging out and watching, let's see who you like best based on the comps after draft here. I'm always curious how much homework teams do going into these games. Early in the season, that kind of information can be hard to find, and different teams have different approaches for how they do scouting. Some teams go really all out with it, and some teams just kind of wing it, you know, step into the game and see what happens. I tended to be somewhere in the middle. I would always do some homework, but wouldn't generally go into a deep dive until we got to playoffs or if it was a team that I kind of really wanted to beat. Loading up. Game number 1, NGS Season 14 opening night. Should be a lot of fun. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to wrestle up a co-caster kind of last minute for this one, so everyone just gets to hear me talk to myself all night. And there's another thing I forgot to do.
Prepare for combat.
Which is add my little mongoose logo. I have to do that before I cast on Thursday. But on the left, we have U.S. Army Esports. Frankenshire on Greymane. Shrinks on Blaze. Badger on Anub. Surefire on Lunara.
Battle
Simeon
commencing in 10 seconds.
On Lucio. The red team, Crimson 5.
4, 3,
will feature Shadonis on Leoric.
1. Let the battle
Yoon
begin.
on Jaina, Mango Man on Raynor, Team Captain Rewind on Anduin, and Aram on ETC. Leoric having no part in the traditional 5v5 brouhaha in the mid lane. Instead, go straight to top. ETC and Nubarak stare at each other in the bushes. Nobody really throws too much out here, though. Skirmishing has begun. Anybody in the chat here, if the sound levels aren't quite where they should be, please let me know. I said I tweaked a lot of settings, so haven't really had the chance to fine-tune in. If something's too high or too low, let me know. U.S. Army Esports, they're going to try to catch Shadonis coming up. Now, Shadonis does have Ghost Walk, and it looks like he's set up to double soak. Shadonis is a very Leoric, in particular, a very difficult hero to catch in rotation. And now that's a lot of soak and pressure that U.S. Army Esports is giving up. But let's see if they get it. There they go. There's the pressure. There's the stun. Unfortunately missed, and Shadonis is able to not walk away because Lucio is running him down. That is one of those things that Lucio does. But they gave up about a half a tower's worth of damage in the top lane and a little bit of soak as well. And Leoric, of course, will be back, well, right now already. Really not too much missed. Raynor staying mid with the Nubarak. ETC is securing bottom lane for Crimson 5. We will throw the talents up there for those of you who are inclined to check those out. So USAE currently on their top camp, gonna pressure Leoric with the camp. Crimson 5 stepping in bottom. There's a little bit of indecision there by Crimson 5. You could tell they were thinking about invading. Now Mango Man might be in trouble though. Nubarak unfortunately unable to land the burrow charge, but he does land the spike strip. Leoric doing a great job of double soaking and allowing Crimson 5 to move around the map. Now they have started the bottom camp. I don't know that U.S. Army Esports knows that they're there. I see pings coming from somewhere. Nubarak did check with the spike strip, but it is going to be too late. So lots of pressure coming out by Crimson 5 on the bottom lane. However, in exchange for that pressure, they just gave up the first Dragon Knight of the game. Shouldn't be too strong of one. Only 2 minutes 2.5 minutes in. Looks like Raynor is going to be sent up here to auto-attack the DK down. Now the rest of Crimson 5 coming to join him. Like I said, early game Dragon Knight already almost burned down. Something Leoric's good with on Dragonshire was a nice ghost walk there by Shadonis. Is Leoric's Spooky Hand, the W, really burns down the DK really fast. So if you get the Leoric down on, oh, Mango Man might be in trouble. Nice shotgun, pushing Badger back and probably saving his own bacon by rewind. Well played. Leoric landing the Spooky Hand on the Dragon Knight really melts that thing quickly. So slight early advantage, very slight to U.S. Army Esports here, despite the early DK. The face melt unfortunately knocked Anubarak out of some of the blizzard damage there. Actually, I take that back. This game is basically dead even, really no advantage. Let's see if ETC is going to go on anybody, specifically this Lucio when he comes up. Here comes Lunara on the flank. Jaina is in a world of trouble. Heals needed here, otherwise Jaina is dead. That's a pretty good face melt, and her team is there to support her. And now it's Greymane that's in trouble. Jaina's still pretty low as well. But buttons pressed, nobody dies. Let's go check in at the top lane. Shadonis getting pushed in here by Shrinks on the Blaze. A lot of that, I'm sure, was the camp that has not been answered on the other side by Crimson 5 quite yet. Now Shadonis eating a 2-for-1, forced to Wraith walk away. There is an Anubarak, but the boop actually booped Shadonis out of the stun. Kind of doesn't matter. But U.S. Army Esports really using that Lucio mobility to kind of negate the Ghost Walk of Leoric, and now with Leo dead, they are invading, and Crimson 5, I think they're going to have to give us up. I mean, it's a 4-on-4, maybe not. So they kind of made like they were going to invade, but then didn't. Half-level lead or so for U.S. Army Esports. Corix, a little too loud. Great. All right, we'll turn that. Sorry about the delay. We'll turn the game volume down just a bit. In about 90 seconds, actually 60 seconds, I think is the delay. Let me know if the game sound is any better. Once again, all the channels coming out here from U.S. Army Esports, they're on the verge of getting their level 10s. Leo and Blaze brawling in the top. Shadonis finally able to get Blaze off, and that's really the key to this matchup. If Leo can hit Spooky Hand on Blaze, that's how he wins. If he doesn't hit Spooky Hand on Blaze, he's not going to win the duel ever. Unfortunately, Raynor goes down. I missed it in the mid lane. They're doing a real great job, U.S. Army Esports here, with the Anubarak and the Lucio of picking up kills and leveraging that. Now Greymane, look at this, Greymane going top to reinforce Blaze, who's having a hard time. Now Shadonis is going to have to Spooky Hand away, or Spooky Walk away, I should say. He does land Spooky Hand on Greymane, but I think he used the Ghost Walk way too late, unfortunately, and it might cost. It does cost him, yeah. I think if he, as soon as Greymane showed up, I think he should have just basically buggered out. You're not going to win a 2v1. In the bottom, ETC tried to get him Lunara. Doesn't get it with the power slide, but does get it with the face melt, and unfortunately not quite enough. Anubarak taking a lot of damage. Welly there throwing out popsicles. But once again, Crimson 5 not quite able to secure these kills here. Oh, go on that Lucio arm. I really thought they were going to power slide onto that Lucio, but just didn't pull the trigger. Maybe on cooldown is going to be my speculation there. So a little bit of a calm in the game right now. Both sides kind of getting some camps. Actually, when I say both sides, I mean U.S. Army Esports is getting their camp on both sides. Greymane just about to finish the top. Lunara just about to finish the bottom. However, Anubarak in a lot of trouble. High five to cleanse the bug out. He's able to burrow charge safely away, despite the double channel. Crimson 5 unable to get the Dragon Knight there. And now in the top lane with a camp and a Greymane and a Blaze, Shadonis basically has 0 shot at defending this. This fort is going to go down. No two ways about it. US Army Esports has been doing a real great job of selectively rotating up there, not letting Shadonis just handle it by himself. Always reinforcing, and they are almost able to get Lunara. Oh, great peels by Badger, but Jaina finally gets the first kill of the game for Crimson 5. Blaze coming in hot on the flank. Bunker goes down. Flames coming out from the bunker. Burrowchar doesn't able to hit. Counter slide onto Badger. Holy Word Salvation comes out. Prevents some damage, I think, but unless they get on there fast, Lucio currently channeling mid, and I don't think that Crimson 5 is going to be able to get out of this in time. However, a good two-man mosh interrupted by Anubrak, but I don't think it'll be enough to save Blaze, and it's not. So showing signs of life despite the DK channeling there by US Army Esports. Crimson 5 picks up their first 2 kills of the game. But looks like US Army Esports, oh, great punt by Raynor. You really don't want to stand on the aggressive side of the DK and get punted in your enemy's fort. But this mid fort taking a lot of damage. Leo does show up, gets the ghost hand on it. You can see that when Leo gets his ghost hand on that thing, it just melts. Great. Good entomb there by Shadonis. However, Lucio is able to just speed walk away. Shadonis is looking aggro there, but does not end his spooky walk. And despite the structural lead for US Army Esports, and despite being a little more aggressive on the camps and a little bit of a structural lead, this is a very close game. Team's only about a third of a level in difference, but Raynor is in trouble here. If US Army realizes it is only him there, and he decides to back it up. Glad the sound is better. This is a 3 for 2. Make that a 4 for 2. Crimson 5 needs to back up like right now. Now it's too late. I'm really surprised they didn't go in on this. Instead, they're going to continue to control the map, prioritize those camps. Gonna rip bottom lane camp here. Shadonis now has a camp to work with for the first time in this game. Gonna try to push Blaze off of it. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Crimson 5 may have smelled something cooking down there, but arrive a little bit too late. And now they have this Bruiser camp to contend with. Greymane showing mid. Bottom Bruiser almost cleared out. 16 advantage almost here for US Army Esports. We haven't talked about it yet because I'm rusty as I'll get out as a caster, but we can go over the heroics now. It is go for the throat as the Blaze charge just misses on the Raynor. Go for the throat, Thornwood Vine, Cocoon, Bunker Drop, and High Five for US Army Esports. Heroics for Crimson 5, Holy Word Salvation, and Tomb, which gets crazy bananas good at 20. Hyperion, Mosh Pit, and Summon Elemental. Now, I love this aggression here, but they now don't have the level 16 advantage, but it does not matter. ETC slides in, hits a W, and says, "This is mine." Nice little steal there by Crimson 5. In the mid lane, trying to get Shadonis again. ETC is here this time, offers some peels, but will it matter? I don't think so. Shadonis in trouble, and now Raynor and Jaina both need to run. It was a great idea from Aram there, but unfortunately, US Army Esports is pretty sticky with the Lucio and all the slows from Blaze and the stuns from Anub. So it looks like Shadonis will be spawning bottom here in just a few seconds, about 10 of them to be precise. I don't know that Crimson 5 is going to even contest this channel. Don't go forward, Raynor. It's a trap. He doesn't. And third DK of the game in favor of US Army Esports. Shadonis Leoric eating a ton of damage there. But luckily, Anduin was able to pull him out. Bunker drop, saving Blaze from probably not dying, but a lot of damage anyway. ETC unceremoniously punted away. Now trying to rotate through the entire enemy team. Mid fort does go down. Leoric punted away again. Lunara split pushing bottom for US Army Esports. And Shadonis, Leoric cut out again. He is able to spooky walk to safety. Good zoning Blizzard there by Jaina. And Blizzard probably saved Leo, to be honest. That was a real nice Blizzard. Welly putting damage onto Lunara. She does take a lot. but able to get away. 25 seconds left on the DK, but very little health. And U.S. Army Esports not dominating this game by any stretch, but they've kind of controlled throughout. Just slowly taking advantages for the entire game. Only 7 kills, so really mostly clean. About to be 8th, though. ETC in a world of trouble. Great pull. They do get the Jaina, they do get the ETC, and now Anduin is not long for this world. And down goes Anduin. Triple kill for U.S. Army Esports. And that might be the kind of moment where the momentum really swings over to U.S. Army Esports. They're going to have Giants pushing in bottom. You know, Anubarak and Greymane are both so good on the siege, and they are going to push in with the Giants, which is what I think they probably should do. Greymane needs to be uber careful. As soon as this wall goes down, he is a target. And you can see the danger pings coming out from, I assume, the members of Crimson 5. Mango Man on the Rainer wisely backing up. Greymane going in hard on the keep. 8 seconds till the full team of Crimson 5 is going to be up, and I think this keep is going to fall and pretty easily, and down it goes. And then a great instant disengage by U.S. Army Esports. Very veteran shot calling there. Get the keep and get out, and then immediately pivot to the bottom camp. Try to keep the pressure on the map. Blaze showing mid. If Crimson 5 has any idea that they're down here, maybe call a quick invade pre-20, but they don't. And 20 is nearly online for U.S. Army Esports. A lot of map pressure here for Crimson 5 as they only have 2 keeps left. U.S. Army Esports has all of their structures up, so not only do they have Katas pressuring the bottom lane, but they have occasional Katas pressuring mid and top.
Harness the power of sun and moon. Put an end to this cursed
U.S.
realm.
Army Esports possibly looking for a quick cap, and they are. Lunara's on bottom, Blazes on mid. Anubarak kind of in position to support Lunara, and Greymane ready for the quick channel. I think Crimson 5 is going to be here too little too late, and they are. Great positioning and posturing by U.S. Army Esports for the quick cap. Level 20s are here. There's going to be Tooth and Claw for Greymane. I believe that is Intensifying Toxin, Rewind, of course, because when you move rack, you always take Rewind at 20. The Bunker upgrade and the High 5 upgrade for U.S. Army Esports. Not going for the win, instead figuring 5-on-5, that might be a dicey call. So instead, they're going to let this camp push up and pressure mid. No. I mean, they do have pressure bottom and pressure top. They need a kill or 2 to end here. A nice spooky walk by Shadonis. And if you're Crimson 5, you're kind of okay with this right now. They being, U.S. Army Esports actually waited for the top lane to get closer. But look at that DK. It's just absolutely melting. They've kind of worn it down without really getting a lot of pressure on it. They kick the ETC away. Top lane is getting a lot of pressure, though, with the camp there and the occasional Kata. Trying to get onto the Rainer, but they're unsuccessful. DK very, very low. Top wall is down, though. Jaina already heading to top. And that was a very solid defense there. They just lost the top wall and really not much else for the DK there. So conservative shot calling for U.S. Army Esports. But they do get the mid and top wall for their troubles, and really in losing nothing to themselves. There is the charge onto the Rainer. Blaze drops the bunker immediately. Still no 20s for Crimson 5, but they are going to get it soon, especially with Leo side-soaking. U.S. Army Esports, I think they see that Leo up there, and they're going to try to pressure in until 20 hits. 20 is on board now. It is going to be Bolt of the Storm for ETC, Super Welly for Jaina, and Tomb, of course. Anduin has yet to pick. Oh, there's the silence in Tomb. It does get 2, but unfortunately Rainer goes down to that Greymane, and now this battle is all over the place. Anduin goes down, Leoric goes down, Jaina soon to follow, and I think that will probably be the beginning of the end for game number 1. Very likely here Um, 17 minutes into the game. They're going to go through mid, but they really don't need to. Yeah, they have the idea. Going around the fort mid, getting onto the core here. Blaze doing everything he can, but with the Greymane on core, it is falling fast. And that will be game number 1 in the opening night of NGS Season 14. We'll go to U.S. Army Esports. So there's the kill ratio. It was pretty close to about level 15 or so, but at that point, U.S. Army Esports really just kind of took control of that game and ran with it. The Greymane in particular, Frankshire did a really nice job about securing the kills and doing so in a way where he didn't die, which can be kind of difficult on Greymane when you're meleeing in there, right? Talent builds. All right. We are going to take probably a quick 2-minute breather while we catch our breath for game number 2. All right, we are back for game number 2. It will be played on Garden of Terror, a map we haven't seen in NGS for a couple of seasons. So that's exciting, and it looks like this was the pick of Crimson 5, as U.S. Army Esports has first picked this game. So coming off the loss, Crimson 5 selecting to go to Garden of Terror, where they will try to force a game number 3. Watching that game, I don't think there was a huge mechanical discrepancy um, between the two squads. For what I saw, it looked like U.S. Army Esports was more decisive and cohesive in the way they moved around the map as a group. You saw very little indecision from them. They moved from one thing to the next thing to the next. They all seemed to be on the same page. Where if you go back and watch Crimson 5, I think there was a little bit of indecision in some of the calls. You could see where they kind of thought about invading and they didn't. And there were times where there was not a lot going on at the map and they didn't do much with it, whereas U.S. Army Esports found a camp or something to get. So I think that game one, the biggest difference to me was the kind of decisiveness of how the teams kind of moved as a unit. U.S. Army Esports looked like they had just been playing together, for a little bit longer, frankly, and it's true they have been. So, but I don't think at all, not even close, that the discrepancy there wasn't something that is so disparate that Crimson 5 can't come back and take some games, or maybe even in the set. You never know. Maybe they had some first NGS game jitters. Now that they're out of the way, they're going to come out swinging here in game number 2. So U.S. Army Esports with a win will pick up the 2-0 domination, 3 points in the standings. Crimson 5, if they pick up the win, will force a game 3. And will also pick up a point in the standings regardless of what happens in game number 3. So, picking one of the ways that you can make sure you don't fall too far down the standings is making sure when you do lose sets, you still want to pick up points. So, picking up a point in a 2-1 loss is valuable to keep your team as high up as you can there. Welcome, welcome. Looks like we have a couple new people coming on in. Welcome to game number 2. Junkrat being banned out on Garden of Terror. Totally get that. Junkrat is, I think, on Mongoose' most annoying heroes to play against. I believe Junkrat is currently number 4 on that list. Tahaka banned out again by Crimson 5, or was that no, that was U.S. Army Esports, I believe, that banned him out in game number 1. But either way, we're not going to see him here in game number 2. Lots of bushes on Garden of Terror. It's a big map. That makes sense. Junkrat 2 can really poke those objectives for a long ways, and the zone controls with the little bear traps. Zool's second ban. So trying to keep Crimson 5 off of the strategy they attempted to employ in game 1. Zool probably the best double soaker in the game, question mark. So taking that away. It is a little bit difficult to double soak on Garden of Terror because the map is on the larger side. Not that it can't be done, but it's a very fine line to do it successfully and make sure you don't miss any soak. And then a Brightwing ban by Crimson 5. So Crimson 5 let the Stukov through this time. Johanna falling through as well. Different map, different priorities. Garden of Terror obviously plays much differently than
The crusade calls.
Dragonshire does. And Badger going to jump right on that. Johanna with first pick. So that does leave Stukov up for Crimson 5 if they're so inclined. Shadona's playing offlane now, but back when he was a support on my team, he played a pretty mean Stukov. Instead, going to go Rhaegar and Garrosh. So completely different comps here. We're going to see game 1 And game 2, and you got to wonder with a Rhaegar, is it going to be Bloodlust? Is it going to be Ancestral? Both of them are excellent. Building a comp around Bloodlust can be really, really brutal. If that's something that you're leery of, if you're U.S. Army Esports, I like a Falstad, right? They pop Bloodlust, you pop Gust, and no problem.
It's about
Lucio can sort of do that, though not quite the same. He can like speed boost away to kind of counteract the movement speed advantage. But gonna grab the Tychus 2 to burn down that Garrosh. I like that Lucio pick too. Simeon in that game 1 played the Lucio really well, had some really timely high fives. Lucio is probably 5th on the list of most annoying heroes to play against on Mongoose's patented annoying heroes list. Taking away the Greymane, I like that. Greymane was very effective game 1, really good on the camps, of which there are plenty here on Garden of Terror. You don't see too many backlines of Tychus Greymane, but it wouldn't be totally unheard of. And they figure, well, we know they play a good Greymane, let's just not let them have it. So Stukov goes from being banned game 1 to totally ignored in game number 2. All right, well, now we're going to see the meat and potatoes of the comp from Crimson 5. What do they have in mind for the Garrosh-Rhaegar pairing? Won't be Sylv, U.S. Army Esports banning out the Sylvanas. They're thinking about it. What's it going to be? Neither side has shown their offlaner as of yet. It's going to be Vala Tracer. Interesting. I think I would have... Tracer's really good right now. I don't know if U.S. Army Esports plays her, but if she doesn't, I think I might have tried to hide that Tracer to the end. But that makes me wonder, what are they holding for the offlane? Do they just want to see the matchup? Malthael, Sonya. So big front line there from U.S. Army Esports. Shadonis needs to pick something. Whew. I'm not sure here. Blaze, mayhaps? Big body plus bunkers and oils. Really thinking about it. Going to be Yrel. That's a good one too, actually. I hadn't considered the Yrel, but Yrel is durable. She can buy space, knock back the other team, help control the Sonya aggro. So I like that pick, actually. I didn't even consider Yrel. I don't see much of her in my game, so she kind of fell off my radar a little bit. Yeah, no Anduin either. That's a little bit surprising. But I assume with a Vala Tracer, that means Bloodlust, right? I mean, that's what I think when I see the Vala Tracer. You're thinking Bloodlust. But interesting comps here for both sides. Who won the draft, chat? The triple melee frontline for U.S. Army Esports, or the Tracer Yrel. The only thing I think possibly Crimson 5's comp is lacking is I prefer with like either a Garrosh who wants to isolate somebody by throwing them away, or a Stitches who wants to isolate somebody by hooking him. It's the same kind of theory of isolating out an individual hero for a kill. Is I usually like to have follow-up CC from the support or one of the assassins, and there's no hard follow-up CC from Crimson 5, so I'm going to see how much value the Garrosh gets there. But game number 2 in the Blue Trunks, U.S. Army Esports, we have Frankshire on Sonya, Badger on Johanna, Shrinks will be playing Malthael, Simeon back on Lucio, and I think you're going to see some of those bans in C West. Simeon on that Lucio this season. And Surefire on Tychus, and not just any Tychus, but Board Shorts Tychus, the second best Tychus behind Banana Hammock Tychus. Crimson 5 in the Red Trunks having no part in the ceremonial 5-on-5. Aram on Garrosh, Rewind on Rhaegar, Yoon on Vala, top lane Shadonis on Yrel, bottom lane Mango Man on Tracer. I'm excited. I haven't had the opportunity to cast Garden of Terror in a hot minute. It's been kind of intermittently in the NGS map pool, but honestly more often in the pool than not. Tracer very slowly clearing the bottom lane, because that's how she clears, very slowly. Camp's going to be up here in about 10 seconds, see who gets on them first. If the first game was any indication, US Army Esports will be on the camps a little better. Unable to secure Joe, and you can see, look, Sonya already on the camps, and that's kind of what I was referring to in game number 1. US Army Esports just a little bit more decisive, kind of knows where they're going to be a little bit faster. Crimson 5, though, this time all over that camp, sending Rhaegar and Vala, which are a fantastic mercenary squad. And despite the fact that they got there later, they're going to finish before Sonya, because these two guys will burn it down very, very fast. Lucio checking to see if anybody's on the bottom camp. Tracer putting some damage onto the Tychus. This is a little bit of a difficult time of the game to observe, because the two sides are all over the place. Vala went to check on the top. I wasn't able to get her. Vala should be able to get on this. Malthael doesn't want to show just yet. Sonya on the flank here. Vala coming in on the flank of Sonya. Misses the Q. Lucio harassing Rhaegar, Vala, and Tracer both coming down. And I think Lucio's going to get the heck out of there real quick.
Time for the seeds of my vengeance to sprout. But which of you will gather them first?
The answer to that question is yes, especially if Joe goes the E build, which I think is still the best build on her. They can blind Tracer all game, every game. Same with Vala, honestly. So yeah, Wild Hamlet, yes, they can. Much better on Crimson 5 this game too, as far as getting on the camps. That's something they were a little bit deficient in game 1. They seem to make that adjustment, and this time they are right into it in game number 2. So curious if Crimson 5 is just going to kind of seed. They are. They're not even contesting. Seed the seed. So 3 members here of Crimson 5 burning down the Giants. Tracer acting as a scout and harassing down here. And Lucio's coming to end this, and they might get the Tychus. Oh, this is going to be close. Oh, Vala, if she hits the Q. This is a great moment, potentially, for Crimson 5. They are going to bully them off the camp. They don't secure any kills, but they're very close. But that's kind of the best moment of aggression we've seen from Crimson 5 this set so far. Mango Man actually almost picked up a solo kill on the Tychus. Vala came in on the flank and kind of misguessed where Tychus was going to run to. Otherwise, the flanking Vala might have been able to get the kill there. And then tearing down these structures. Vala, Rhaegar, Tracer should be able to do pretty good siege damage, and you kind of saw it there. Now they are rotating away. This spawn here, I don't think they're going to see this one on their side of the map.
Isn't nature splendid?
And you're correct, Hippie.
Gather
Vala
that
did
seed
just
for
go
me.
Q build. If I were the Joe, I would basically be holding my E and throwing it on Tracer anytime she started going into the team. And then when you get the double E, that's a lot of blinds. I would be kind of saving it just for that. Meanwhile, bottom lane, US Army Esports sees the over-rotation. They're going to get 1 tower, probably 2. Crimson 5 has arrived. They rotated the safe way. Meanwhile, Tracer really beating up on the Malthael. It's very close. But that's a matchup that Malthael will have a really hard time with, is a Tracer matchup. Frankenshire holding in the bush. Nice job of US Army Esports there not to show in the vision. Unstoppable procced and allows Joe to simply run from the Gary. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Tracer now has to deal with Tychus and a wave, and that's a little bit different. Water balloon splashes on the Tracer, dealing plenty of damage. So this game feels already a little bit different than game number 1, honestly. Crimson 5 is playing a little bit more aggressive, which was something we didn't see in the game 1, and they're actually winning the race by almost a full level, winning the race to 10. So nice job there, and they're going to hit it right, like literally any second. Tens on board.
And don't fret about the shamblers.
Going to be
They don't
Ancestral
feel a
Healing,
thing.
not Bloodlust. Rain of Vengeance. Ardent Defender. Still waiting for a Tracer. And this is just a delay coming out by U.S. Army Esports. I assume they'll eventually have to leave here. But Tychus Grenades and Joe Blinds have a pretty good delay. Now they may have brought them back far enough. Garrosh actually goes down in the top lane. I assume to last Rice would be my guess. But they do secure the tribute. 10's on board. And it is Warlord's Challenge and the increased charge rate pulse rounds for Tracer. As for U.S. Army Esports, it is Leap, High Five, Commandeer Odin, Blessed Shield, and it was last Rice. Crimson 5 has showed up. Vala goes back in, and that was a really great Rain of Vengeance to pick off the Sonya there. She bought a few seconds with the leaping back onto the Sonya, but nice play by Yoon there to interrupt Sonya's attack with a really, like a point-blank Rain of Vengeance, picking up the kill there, and about a full level advantage for Crimson 5 here.
A seed has been planted. It will sprout before you know it.
And there's Mango Man on that Tracer, just being an absolute pest. They do get the throw. That's the first Garrosh throw I've seen, but Iron Skin used for Joe. Seed spawning in 10 seconds. I'm curious if they're just going to give this and push, as it kind of looks like they might. Tracer is not here. Instead, she's going to go harass Sonya. A lot of action in the bottom. Garrosh very low, forced to use the Unstoppable defensively. And Ancestral Heal is already down. They are looking really low, as is Lucio, though. So just low health bars all around. Ancestral's not up for another 30 seconds. If I'm Crimson 5, I think I'm just backing up here. Meanwhile, Mango Man being just a gnat. He's all over this map. You can't stand there, though, Mango Man. You're going to eat a Q in a second, right about now. Nope, it's going to be Leap, then Q. And now Lucio's going to get on that Tracer, and unless he's got a lot of buttons, got a little too confident there with the Sonya. Franksure doing a nice job of just waiting in the bush, waiting for the help to arrive, securing the second tribute. So next tribute is gonna be the curse or the plants, whatever we're calling them. Also, top fort finally goes down to pressure from U.S. Army Esports. Tracer will respawn momentarily. Crimson 5 kind of fallen off the camps that they were doing really well on early in the game. Looks like Rhaegar is finally going to go to that giant, perhaps? No. Rhaegar and Yrel doing the... Yes, on to the giants. U.S. Army Esports about to finish this one here. Garrosh already in anchor position for the seed, which is good to see. Malthael far away. Both teams kind of far away. Tracer in harass position as she usually is. Not really minding eating the whirlwind from Sonya. Neither team is down here, but both sides gotta hurry. Malthael's gonna be the latest. Jonia and Sonya, Johanna in a nice position there in the bushes. Crimson 5 now eating the damage from the little minions, and they're gonna finish them off pretty quick here. Here goes Odin, here goes Condemn, here goes all the buttons. Leap onto the backside, and Rhaegar goes down very, very quickly. But as does Sonya and Yrel jumping all over the place. Health bar is so low. Last rites onto Garrosh doesn't quite finish him. That Malthael is doing so much work. That was back and forth and back and forth. And the Malthael just getting in on those melee heroes tilted that team fight into the favor of U.S. Army Esports. Although they came back, or at least Yoon did. Oh my goodness, you're crazy, Vala. Crazy Vala, able to get away and actually almost pick up the Joe skill. She actually had to use Iron Skin. And then Tracer going in, Crimson 5. They are not going quietly into the night, but finally they are forced to concede after buying some precious, precious seconds. Already on the top Terror. It will be burned down in short order. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, U.S. Army Esports pushing hard with both a camp and a Garden Terror. Tracer is down here, not going to be able to do much. I don't know why she didn't burn the little thingy, though. They let that stay for way too long. Big wave, plus a Garden Terror. Sonya's not here, so numbers are in favor of Crimson 5, and they are chasing like numbers are in favor, but unable to secure a kill. And they also did not clear out the objective. So first keep goes down in favor of U.S. Army Esports. Now they are running at the Sonya. However, reinforcements are there from U.S. Army Esports. Tracer maybe out too long again. She eats the cleanse and then the leap, and down she goes. I think Garrosh maybe go down to the Ancestral, actually perfectly timed. Keeps Garrosh alive, limits the damage to only Tracer. So pretty close game as far as kills and level go, but just a massive structural advantage for U.S. Army Esports on the back of the Terrors. Seeds Terror. What do you even call them on here? Garden Terrors, I guess? The Night Phase. On the back of their Night Phase. Now we're going to siege in with the top camp, popping Odin for a little extra firepower. Tracer will be up right now. 5-man defense for Crimson 5, but the spell armor here really going to help U.S. Army Esports step in, do some structure damage. Rewind going up to burn out that wizard and get rid of that spell armor. Johanna popping Iron Skin. Garrosh very, 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 very deep. Blessed Shield goes. Last Rites is up right now, but I was not quite in time to get Garrosh. They do save the fort, though, or keep, I should say. Both sides retreating to their side of the map. Healing up, cleaning up lanes, getting some mercs. This seed needs to be defended by U.S. Army Esports. Crimson 5 could choose to let it go if they want to. There's the Rain of Vengeance on Vala. They get a second stun on her, but unfortunately, teammates weren't quite close enough to layer the CC. And now look at this wave bottom. 3 katas, 4 katas, and a camp bottom. So Crimson 5 needs to get this quickly or leave, because that is going to start doing damage in the bottom lane very, very quickly. And if I'm U.S. Army Esports, I almost don't even want the seeds, although before you get them, I literally just want to hold them here. I mean, look at the mini-map at that bottom lane. Tychus is able to channel the objective on the backside. This is just such a massive wave. And very wisely, U.S. Army Esports going to join forces with the Catapults and Giants in the top lane. They know Crimson 5's got to go bottom, and they have a weakened wall-less keep up here. I think this keep's going to go down very quickly. I don't know there's a lot Crimson 5 can do about it. Garrosh looking for something. There's the toss on the Kata, though. Keith goes down anyway. The re-engage by U.S. Army Esports. Both sides kind of posturing. Tracer hounding them. Sonya goes back in on the Vala. There's the toss onto the Sonya. She spins all over the side of Crimson 5. Health bar is going up and down and up and down. Shadona's popping the Heroic to keep himself up. Last Rites is up in 7 seconds. But no kills. So many buttons pressed. So few heroes dying.
There it is. Gather
but
the
that is
seed
another
before
keep
your enemy does.
down for Crimson 5. And this game, you know, the level is very close. The kills, very close. And then you look at the structures, and it's all U.S. Army Esports. They have been able this entire game to maximize the opportunities they've had. And of course, they have the only objective phase that's occurred so far in this game. That's part of it as well. Urel showing in the bottom lane. US Army Esports knows they can step up if they choose to. 2 Katas pushing down the top. Crimson 5 is going to be goaltending the rest of this entire game, and it's really going to allow Blue to dictate the terms of the engagements basically the entire rest of the game. If they play it right, they really shouldn't have to take a 5v5 if they don't want to. If they kind of manipulate the map the right way, watch the locations of Crimson 5 and watch the lane pressure, because there's just so much lane pressure for US Army Esports here. 20s are on board for Blue. Will be so momentarily from Red. They do get the Giants just in time, but I think Crimson 5 has to fight for this, right? They want to get 20s, and they do. And now they're going to step in, but they're split by terrain. Need to be very careful. There goes the Tracer. Harass. There's the toss onto the Mouthfeel. That's who they want if they can get the CC on the Mouthfeel, and they do. Down goes Mouthfeel very quickly. Great moment by Crimson 5. Let's see if they can clean this up. Tychus is very low, and there's the toss on the Tychus. He's still low. Sonya just chasing the Vala. She jukes the Q. Tychus finally goes down. Then they throw Joe. Lucio goes down. Joe has to go down next, right? There's the last rights, and it gets the Vala. But Sonya will go down, so a 3-4-1 in favor of Crimson 5, and to get the objective, the initiation out of Crimson 5 to start that fight. The way they executed Mouthfeel, it was actually a 4-for-1 because Mouthfeel came back. But the way they started that fight, just taking Mouthfeel out so quickly and efficiently, was the best moment we've seen from Crimson 5 this series. It was really, really well done. And then Yoon had a massive juke on the Sonya Spear that would have absolutely killed her. And it forced the last rights to go on Vala, and ultimately ended up bringing Sonya down as well. So 20 seconds for the full team of US Army Esports to be up. This is going to be a huge momentum swing and really balance out this map a lot. Mid-keep will go down, probably top and bottom forts, but I don't think much more than that, but that is huge. So they need to get this keep. There it is. And this is really nice here from Crimson 5. Good crisp rotations. That was so fast, no hesitation. Got down here very quickly and just takes us down. Vala is now on her way, but she is a ways away. Lucio speed did make this trouble, and I think we're going to have a fight here. Ladies and gentlemen, Vala has arrived, throws a Q, doesn't hit anything, throws another Q. That time she hits Mouthfeel, and the two sides are content to back away. So big moment by Crimson 5. Really evening out the map. They took out mid-keep, they took out bottom fort, they took out mid-fort. Still a structure lead for US Army Esports, and still a pretty sizable one, but not an overwhelming one like it was just a few minutes ago. Now Crimson 5, are they looking to invade? I was wondering if they were going to go through the vision and try to get on this top camp. They didn't. Are they going to push a structure? They need to do something. I don't think passive play is the right call necessarily. But look at this. US Army Esports, they were actually expecting the invade. Vala is in trouble. Blessed Shield misses, but Vala is really isolated. However, the Rain of Vengeance hits on the Lucio with the Tracer follow-up. Down goes Lucio. Ancestral's heal keeps Vala up, and it's the level 20 upgrade on that Ancestral heal. And once again, US Army Esports in trouble. Mouthfeel down, Lucio down, Tychus trying to get on that Rhaegar, but will not be able to. And on the side, Vala and Sonya have been dueling off to the side this entire time. Wow, but they do get the Tychus. They need to clean up mid, and they need to clean up bottom, and they need to do it in a hurry. You really can't afford to lose mid, so they need to do that fast, or they're going to try to end. Oh, they're trying to end. This, I mean, Tracer, Vala, Rhaegar, that's a lot of stuff. 50 seconds before Tychus. This is going to be very close, but they are on core. The shields have gone down, 96%. Red health bar is very low. Down goes Rhaegar. Oh no, Sonya goes down too. That's a trade. Joe is low, as is Garrosh. There's the throwaway. They do get the Joe. Tracer going in again. They're still trying to do this. I don't think they can, but they do get 12% core damage and suffer 6% of their own. This game went from complete control by U.S. Army Esports to absolutely bananas. Tracer, of course, really won't be able to do this herself. Or at least not quickly, anyway. The level 20 Ancestral has paid big dividends. And maybe that has been the deciding factor in these fights, that's just the tool they didn't have available before. Seed secured by Crimson 5. And this is a whole new game. Wow. Those last two fights have been just the best we've seen of Crimson 5. They've looked, frankly, really, really good. In both fights, they were able to pick out a target and kill them, giving them the advantage very, very early. And then that, combined with a couple of big-time Ancestrals, have been the keys to both of the fights that they've won. Early kill on a hero, big-time Ancestral. Now, I do think they need to pay a little cameo and maybe knock down a couple of these katas down here. This is 22 minutes in. Actually, the Giants will help with that. So they're going to let the Giants de-push bottom for them. They found Joe. Nice push check there by Vala. Throwing some extra damage there for our troubles. And here we go. One more time. At this point in the game, frankly, an ace either way will 100% end the game.
I suggest you do it now.
Crimson 5 tanking those little monkeys. Those things do a surprising amount of damage. Look at Garrosh's health. He hasn't taken any damage from the enemy. That was just from the little guardian monkeys. So you don't want to underestimate the damage that they can do. Both Tracer and Vala looking for flank positions. Once again, Sonya and Vala resume their flanking battles with one another. They've been going at each other all game long. Vala winning this one. In the meantime, the Ancestral doesn't get a kill, but they do get a kill on Sonya with another big-time Ancestral. But Malthael right in the middle of everything. They can't quite get him, and now they do. It's a 2-for-2, but Malthael has bought back. So numbers in favor of U.S. Army Esports, not any longer. Tracer goes in there, gets the kill. However, Lucio is here, as is Malthael, and they do get it. And now they have to run. Lucio is going to give them speed. Tracer and Yrel. I don't think Yrel's going to get away. Let her go, Tracer. Let her go. That was absolutely crazy. Crimson 5 did keep U.S. Army Esports from getting another objective, but at what cost? Unfortunately for them, they did get rid of Sonya, which would be a big amount of pressure for them to end, but two katas going in the bottom lane. Currently, only Tracer is up. 12 seconds before two more heroes get here. They are sieging. Shield is going down very quickly. Tracer has to be patient and wait for help. But this is going to be a problem too. Two katas in the bottom lane. U.S. Army Esports kind of just stepped in, forced them back a little bit, put a little pressure, and then left. But now, this seed Leams is so huge, and I don't know that Crimson 5 can ignore it, and I don't know that they can contest it either. Vala has to goal keep. I honestly think Crimson 5 has to concede this. They don't have Yrel, and Vala has to be back at base. This is just such a rock and a hard place for Crimson 5. And all U.S. Army Esports has to do is wait. There's a great toss, double toss, Vala doing a lot of damage. Tyke is really, really low. This fight, once again, all over the place. Tracer goes down. That is the first kill of this fight. Yrel has arrived, jumped on everybody, but now getting melted. Lucio goes down. Fight all over the place. The big Ancestral one more time. I don't even know how to call these. Once again, Vala and Sonya on the back, and Vala once again getting the better of it. But the core for red, the shields are down. And Yrel immediately runs back as she needs to. This is going to be an objective. No, Vala, can she get the kill? She does. Vala gets the kill. Johanna goes down. That is going to be it. That will absolutely be game. Crimson 5 getting up off of the mat after being down so far in this game. 20 seconds before Lucio is even up, objective coming in. Barring an absolute miracle, game number 2 going over to Crimson 5, the new team picking up their first ever NGS point in spectacular fashion. You're going to be hard-pressed to see a better comeback than what you just saw right there. Really, really well played by Crimson 5, sticking it out. Big-time play. Those Ancestrals were so huge, and I have never seen in a game so many Vala Sonya matchups. It's like the two sides would come in for a 5v5, and Vala and Sonya would split out and fight their own battles while the rest of their teams duked it out. But those team fights post 20 just seem to be totally different than they were before that. So really, really big tip of the hat there for a game 2 that initially seemed to be all U.S. Army Esports. I anticipate a Tracer ban, or maybe a Vala ban. Both of the mobile damage dealers were problematic. And Garrosh, I thought was a little shaky in the early part of the game, but Aram hit some big-time throws at the end, and Rewind with the double Ancestrals. So good. So we get a game 3. Doesn't get any better than that. I'm going to catch my breath, put the BRB screen up, and we'll be back momentarily for game number 3. All right, we are back for game 3, and if you wanted a game 3, you wanted it on Towers of Doom, of course. I think this is my favorite map to finish out a series. Towers is like the map of crazy comebacks. I don't know that we're going to get anyone crazier than what we just saw, but we are here for game number 3 on Towers of Doom. U.S. Army Esports, their choice of map, so Crimson 5 will have first pick. That was without. I've been doing chair league way back in the day, and next NGS for a pretty long while. And that was one of the more unexpected comebacks that I've seen. And it's we've all been there. You play HOTS long enough, you're kind of on the not doing as well as you would like necessarily, and it can be easy to get down on yourself a little bit, or maybe a little resigned to defeat, but not so much. Crimson 5 hung in there, kind of waited, and then whatever changed. But there was a point in that game where all of the team fights that weren't going their way, all of a sudden were. They weren't going their way. And from about that one big fight the first big fight that they won forward, they pretty much won every team fight after that. Hey, Raka. So, yeah, I don't really know how this is going to go. For even though we've had 2 games here, for most of these 2 games, U.S. Army Esports has looked a little bit stronger, and they controlled most of both of these games. But, I mean, Crimson 5's got to have just a ton of momentum after the way that game 2 ended. So it will be interesting to see how the first part of this game goes, where it will maybe go kind of how the first 2 games went in the beginning, where Army was ahead a little bit, or if Crimson 5 is going to ride that momentum, or you're just going to see these 2 teams, clashing over everything. Regardless, though, congratulations to Crimson 5 on their first ever NGS point, and in spectacular fashion. If you're going to do it in style. I find that for whatever reason, especially after a game like that, there tends to be a little bit more of a break between games 2 and 3, as like I did, grab a glass of water, stretch for a moment, especially after a long game like that, a long, intense game like that. Not at all surprising that the teams are taking a moment. But let's see if any of the later games got a last-minute caster. That would be cool, because then we would have somebody to throw to. Unfortunately not. So we'll have to find one of our NGS community members to throw to. Oh, I think we have some random numbers there. I think Cats on My Keyboard has arrived. All right, looks like both teams are ready. And here we go, into game number 3 on Dragon Show. All right, let's see these targeted bans now, right? We've had 2 different sets of bans based on 2 very different maps in Game 1 and Game 2. But based on how that Game 2 went, I cannot believe that there won't be some targeted bans here, as these 2 teams have now played 2 games against one another. Sylvanas, that's a ban we have not seen from Crimson 5. U.S. Army Esports banned the Sylvan game number 2. Let's see what Army will respond with. And not surprising. I mentioned at the end I thought a Tracer or Volibear would be coming out. Sometimes when you're an observer watching the game, it looks different than the game feels. So maybe Army felt that Vala was a little more problematic than the Tracer, and hence the Vala ban. Or maybe they have a Tracer player and they thought they were both problematic. Maybe they'll take the Tracer away. We'll see. Greymane, after the Greymane that was shown in game number 1, not going to let, I believe it was, who was it on? Was it Frankshire? Whoever played Greymane for Army in game number 1 was very good. Not going to let him have it again. And no Johanna. So Anduin up. Dahaka up, who's been banned the first 2 games, and Crimson 5 snap picks that Dahaka. Stukov still up. Lucio, who Simeon has played very well both of these games, Lucio still up as well. Wouldn't surprise me to see them grab that Lucio again.
This galaxy shall suffer.
And Stukov. So no Lucio. Stukov finally grabbed after being banned game 1 and ignored game 2. The offlaners were picked very late in the first 2 games. This time they're going to be picked very early. Anduin is a nice pick to pull out any targets out of the Entomb, especially an Entomb with a silence puddle. So Rewind wants to make sure to position in such a way that he can help any of his teammates out. And Lunara this time coming out for Crimson 5. And I like the Lunara pick. It has not escaped me that whether there's something to this or not. Was it Frankenshire? Thank you, Unicycle. It has not escaped me that the game where Crimson 5 looked good, both of their assassins were very immobile, and maybe they're going to try to stick with that motif, grabbing the Lunara, plus the Vision, of course. I think the most underrated part of her kit is that Vision Wisp. Nubarak ban. That's a hero we saw in game number 1, played by Badger. Now 2 picks coming out for Army. Who's it going to be? The Muradin ban is a little interesting. I wonder if that's a targeted ban? Or something we don't want to see there. Oh, so Taunt variant into the Stukov puddle. It's very, very strong. Now they do have an Anduin, that'll help. But they need to... I'm not sure who they pick as a tank here. What's the tank do you want here? Do you want ETC for the big boops to make the engage harder? Alarak. Finally. And Garrosh. Interesting. So Crimson 5 drafted, like standard as standard could be in game number 1. Like if you were going to pick a standard comp, ETC, Raynor, Jaina, Anduin is like Leo. That's just as standard as it's going to be. Didn't have great success with it. Dropped game number 1. Came back with something a little less standard game number 2. And now we have Alarak here in game number 3. And then a Falstad. So Falstad can be very squishy if Alarak gets a hold of him. He can go down very, very fast. But Alarak also vulnerable to the puddle. So this is going to be interesting. Alarak, in my experience in NGS, I have found him to be a little bit feast or famine. Either he's oppressive or not effective. Guess we're going to see how it's going to roll in Game 5. We do have 20-some-odd viewers in there. So chat, who's going to pick up this Game 3? Who won draft? Who's going to win Game number 3? No fancy polls. I don't have any of those. We can just talk to each other. Who wins this Game number 3?
Prepare yourself for battle. heroes.
All right, game number 3, back in the blue trunks, U.S. Army Esports featuring Badger on Varian, Surefire on Tychus, Fracture on Falstad, Shrinks on Leoric. Unfortunately, it's not Janitor Leoric, so that is minus 1 point, and Simeon on Stukov. In the red trunks, fresh off of their epic
3, 2,
comeback to
1.
game number 2, we have Crimson 5,
Let the battle begin.
Aram on Garrosh, Rewind on Anduin, Mango Man on Lunara, Yoon on Alarak, and Shadonis on Dahaka. Once again, Crimson 5 didn't have a lot of interest in the 5v5 mid lane. Although this time Leoric picked up on it, and Leoric is already top. Now they ran straight at Falstad. Nice barrel roll by Fracture to run away from that Garrosh. What I would really like to see here from Crimson 5 is Alarak and Garrosh just infesting every bush, basically. Aram a little far. Now granted, Anduin is not a real boy yet. However, that is a lot of damage taken right there. Yeah, I agree. Puddle is actually not just Gary. Puddle is kind of the anti-tank, right? If you've got the Puddle from Stukov, it can make any of the tank's buttons that make them feel safe not. So not just Gary, but any tank that gets caught in a Puddle in a kill combo can be in trouble. Maybe Garrosh a little more than the others, simply because he lacks some of the mobility tools many other tanks have. This is going to take a hot minute. Camp clear from Crimson 5 is not great. And it's taken them a lot longer than a hot minute, very long. A nice blind booger by Stukov. Lurking Arm is going to be right here in the middle of this. Varian eating a lot of damage. But with Lunara not with the team, I think they just lack the damage. Dahaka comes down. Really not. Actually, they may get Stukov. They might get Stukov here. Throw is going to be coming up. There's a good tongue by Shadonis. There's the throw. There's Stukov and Falstad both. Alarak able to grab the kill there. So I wasn't sure about the call to bring the Dahaka down, but they slowed the Stukov just enough, and Falstad didn't want to leave him there by himself. And the first 2 kills almost at identical times for Crimson 5, and that's the first time we've seen this. There's the taunt to save himself. Nice job by Varian. Alarak is going to be in the bushes mid lane, fishing for Falstad, which is what he should be doing. Really want to get on those squishies if you're Alarak. And if you're Crimson 5 and you're Yoon, Falstad is really the hero you're looking for here. He's the most vulnerable, as we saw in that last fight. There goes the Varian. He's going to throw him. The Puddle's got to be coming right now, right? Good. There's the pull. The Lurking Arm was just a hair late. Dahaka and Leoric. They are going to take the gentleman split here in the top lane. I don't know why Shadonis moved there, but I don't think it'll matter too much. There's the channel 1. There's the channel 2. Teams consider your posture. Here goes Dahaka on the flake. Burrowing in. Does get the tongue on the Varian. The silence may be a smidgen early. The tongue was still there. Able to burrow down away. Q does hit Falstad. Garrosh now in a world of hurt. But as is Varian, who's going to go down first? It's going to be Garrosh. Tychus very low, though. Actually, a lot of the blue health bars are very low. But Crimson 5 making a nice, clean disengage. They lost their tank, did what they could, and left. So well done on that. I think this Crimson 5 will come online a little more. Falstad in trouble. There's the bull. There's the silence. And that is exactly why Yoon needs to be hunting Falstad. Really well done. Hanging out in the bush. And now comes the invade. If Dahaka has Brush Talk available, which I think he would at this point, this is basically a 5 heroes available. It means Army can't step into this one. You can tell they know that. They're not even coming anywhere near it. But I was started to say is I think this Crimson 5 comp is going to start coming online a little bit more when Lunara is available to be with the Garrosh, Alarak, Anduin just a little bit more because she's such a core component of the damage they need to finish kills. Although now this is a blind invade. Garrosh is not in that bush. You see the danger pings coming out. Garrosh is here now. There's the pull. Lunara is on the flank. They push her away. Dahaka is walking down. They are back on the camp. Now Dahaka is on the flank. Leo's not here yet. There's the Falstad again, and down he goes. As I mentioned, Falstad is the most vulnerable hero, and Shadonis is all over everybody, just using those, the W, the Dark Swarm to get on everybody. No fear whatsoever. And that's now 4 kills to 1 in favor of Crimson 5. Although that's not something you see every day. Leoric killing a Lunara with a Ghost Hand, but it's going to go down now.
Take the altars and put an end to the Gravekeeper.
Lunara on her way, but Leoric will spawn first, so numbers will be slightly in favor of US Army Esports. Although they just basically murder Leoric here. He takes so much damage because he spawned in the middle. Not as much damage as Shadonis, though. Once again, Crimson 5 going to have to back up. Garrosh going to go down. Good cleanse. Good ruse by Rewind. Are they going to get him out alive? He's got 5 health. 5 health Garrosh was down to, and he escapes. Wow. That is as close as it gets. He was down to 5 hit points. Lunara instantly split away to maximize soak. Dahaka takes his place back in the top lane. They do get that damage on the Falstad. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Tychus is in trouble. He does get taunted. Both sides exchanging a lot of damage. But I do think Crimson 5 will struggle to secure kills without Lunara. Alright, heroics are here. Mighty Gust for Falstad. I believe that's Flailing Swipe. It is for Stukov. Commandeer Odin for Tychus. Varian, of course, already got his heroic at 4. Taunt and Entomb for Leoric. For the side of Crimson 5, we have Isolation, I assume, yes. Holy Word Salvation, yes. Leaping Strike, Warlord's Challenge, and I actually don't know ours. Deadly Charge. Garrosh is caught there, but that's not really who you want. He does get caught in the puddle, but he's very close to his wall. Rewind and waited to the very last minute and finally pulled it. But now look at this. Look how low Falstad is. Fighting with Alarak down here, I imagine. And Army actually lost that exchange. Their health bars are very low. Alarak and them, they want to... Honestly, I would just sit in this bush. I wouldn't even worry about the camp. I would try to catch somebody down or turn low. They're going to grab that camp. Shadonis is here to support them. Leo's top. Falstad had to hearth all the way back, so they're actually going to get this uncontested. And they get a taunt onto the Varian. The root, unfortunately, just misses. The silence does not. He does get his protect out, but it's not going to matter. I think Varian is going to go down, except for Frankenshire with the Mighty Gust. Great Holy Word, though, really saves those red health bars. Tychus is low. Tychus goes down. So Crimson 5 riding the momentum of game number 1. I don't think... Yes, they will. They do get the interrupt of Falstad, and now he is in trouble. Dahaka immediately brush stalks top to maximize soak. We do have a pause, unfortunately, from Shadonis. Not quite sure what's up with that. So hang tight while we figure that out.
hero has left.
Yes, heroes. Activate the towers.
Once more, the altars rise from the depths.
Ripperoonie. Thank you, Hector. So you guys will see this a little late. That commentary was so good, too. You're just going to have to believe me that it was so good. But Falstad, oh my good lord. Barely able to... Nope, just kidding. From way downtown, Yoon goes in and finishes off the ever-vulnerable Falstad. Now poor Varian in a world of trouble, too.
The altars have risen.
When you guys get to the part where I figure out I had no audio, just take my word for it. The commentary that you missed was absolutely incredible. Incredible.
Show the Raven Lord the
So
extent of my
double
power.
altar spawn for Crimson 5. Are they going to boss? Yoon seems to be thinking boss. The rest of the team doesn't seem to be doing that, so a little bit of kind of not being on the same page there. This is a kind of a little bit of the type of thing I referred to after game 1, just not quite being on the same side or on the same page. They're trying to bait out this Falstad. Did he get the slow on him? That's a lot of damage, and there goes Alarak again. Missed the pole, Gust forced to come out, and then Yoon goes down, and the Atum kind of half accidentally keeps in 2, and then Simeon with the lurking arm says no sir and cancels the holy word salvation. That went from very much in Crimson 5's favor to not at all. I really think when they go back and watch this VOD, they're going to want to look at that moment. And after that really decisive win where they got 2 altars, they just kind of scattered to the winds. They should have all gone to boss, or maybe all gone to top camp, or all ripped down the fort. But I really think they had, a good 15 seconds where all 5 of them could have and should have done something together to leverage that advantage that they had. Now Army trying to get back on the right footing here. Only 4 core health down, but they are down 6 teams. All members of Crimson 5 have returned. But you'll notice Army on the back of their triple kill there, how decisive they were. They immediately got boss and immediately got camp. There was no scattering, no wasted time. Leo not here. Dahaka not here. Both posturing. But the Crimson 5 is a little far away right now. I don't know that they interrupt this where Tychus is. Yeah, I don't think they can interrupt it. Their position was just too far back. And that's 1 free altar there for Crimson 5. In the top lanes, once again, Leo and Dahaka have the gentleman split. And we mentioned how Towers of Doom is the map of maps for crazy endings. And boy, oh boy, is this one set up.
I will not give up so easy.
16 to 16 in health, 6 to 8 in kills, structures. I mean, this is as close can be, and really teed up for an epic ending. Nice vision usage there by Mango Man on Lunara. Kind of smelling out the danger there. Leo and Dahaka continue to operate off camera. Rewind, almost face check that bush. Now Leo is coming down. I wonder if Army is looking for something. Dahaka not quite here. Wisp goes in the bush again, finds Varian, who cuts it in half with a sword. Dahaka continuing to do off-lane things. Crimson 5 slightly ahead on the race to 20, but that's still a long ways off. Alarak a little behind, a great unstoppable there. Now he is taunted. The pull is going to be up, though. There's the pull. Silence goes on to Stukov there. Dahaka still has not shown up, and now the pull is used yet again. I thought it would be on cooldown, but not so much. Double pull. Yeah? Has he got that talent already? Yep, that was the double pull. Dahaka still showing in the top lane. Once again, Crimson 5 just not in a position. There's the taunt. There's the safe throw, and they're going to be false to Holy Word Salvation. Oh, could not be better. And there goes the Alarak once again. Stukov flailing to save his life, but they catch the Leo. Oh my word. The friendly toss by Aram to keep Rewind out of trouble, and then Rewind repaid the favor with an absolutely epic Holy Word Salvation that turned something that looked very dicey into 2 kills for naught in favor of Crimson 5. Now they are laying siege to the bottom port. This bottom port is going to go down. The low blow from Shadonis, he is able to back up and use his essence. Are they going to land a tongue? No. Tychus anti-siege. So good, and I was wrong. They don't get the fort. Falstad will be up with flight available. 20 is very close for Crimson 5. Are they going to invade with the Haka showing top? They most certainly are. Oh, Crimson 5. Oh, Crimson 5, run. There's the big entomb, catches 3, but there's no follow-up. Alarak's just eating Falstad for lunch on the flank. Oh, unfortunate, and there goes the charging Alarak to finish off the Leoric. He is very low, though. The Holy Word Salvation again keeps Alarak alive, but the Lurking Arm cancels it. 2 for 2, and I don't know who's going to come out of this. Shadonis does pop his essence to keep himself up. That healing is going to help big time. 20s are here. Oh, Anduin so low. There goes the silence onto Tychus. Oh my goodness, but Leoric is going to spawn. Crimson 5 needs to get out of here. Rewind is in trouble. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Numbers in favor of Army, though, due to the fact that Leoric was able to spawn, but also their lower level means they have lower spawn times. So this is going to be very dicey for Crimson 5, to be perfectly honest. They do get a tongue onto Leo. There is the Silence Entomb. No Silence Entomb, just regular Entomb. So far, Army is able to channel bottom. Alarak and Lunara are up now, though I don't know if it's going to be in time. I think this is going to be 2 altar spawns in favor of Army. Falstad is going to have Gust, too, so they can just kind of press R and get out of dodge, but they don't need to. That was such a bizarre situation where Army having... No, they didn't get it. Alarak must have interrupted it. I missed it. Oh my god, what a terrible caster. But now, 5v5 in favor of 20s, but they get it this time, under contest. Wow, what a bizarre sequence. What I started to say was, this is one of the first times I have seen a team being lower level like that play to such a strong advantage because their heroes were just up in time. 12-8, level 20 advantage for Crimson 5 despite being behind in core health. Falstad in another lane, Leoric in another lane. Alarak is searching for something, and they do have Tychus, oh he's in trouble. Alarak gets the pull, gets the silence. There's the tongue. Where's the tongue? Nope, they don't need the tongue. Down goes Tychus, and now the silence is on to Varian. The gust from Frankenshire from behind the bushes is going to save Varian for now. But a real nice sequence there by Crimson 5, and a really good gust from Frankenshire. No Tychus this time to D's bottom lane, though. Oh, that's really good. I was just going to say, Crimson 5 doesn't have a lot of great siege damage. They do get that onto Varian, though, but now they're tanking. Oh, Varian very low. He gets silenced as well, and down goes Varian. Wow. That is a huge split death. Good flailing swipe from Simeon to keep relieve the pressure from Frankenshire. This is going to be a free channel for Crimson 5. And a camp as well. Is this going to be camp channel boss? But nobody's posturing for this. I suppose they don't need to, but I don't think Garrosh needs to anchor there with the bottom fort there. That would be a very aggressive walk. But here's the channel. Now Crimson 5 maybe going to try to walk this camp in, and that looks like it's exactly what they're going to do. Dahaka is in the other lanes. Bush danger pings coming out. I assume that's from Army. Now 8-7 in core health, both sides at level 20. Varian will be up in 3 seconds. Falstad and Dahaka are in the other lanes currently. And here come the little pumpkin sappers. Alarak, I think he's going Falstad fishing. See him in the... Nope, no, he's coming back because Falstad goes back. Flailing swipe. Push the sappers back. None will go in. All 5 members are here. This could be a watch for an aggressive gust here from Frankenshire. Now, Mighty Gust upgrade. No, he did. Yeah, no, he did not. So no wind tunnel. Mighty Gust still a playmaker, but you got to be super careful with the Alarak hanging around, who's been absolutely fishing for the Falstad. Dahaka can come in here at any time, doing a nice job of applying off-lane pressure. Very, very tense late game. Fracture. Thank you, Unicycle. I will attempt to correct myself. Oh, great sneak here. And I don't think Crimson 5 is going to get here in time. They burn that thing really fast. They did get a tongue on the Varian, but it's not going to matter, though. A great, great sneak. Although, are they going to get Varian? Here comes Alarak, just waiting for the Protect to end, and it does. Varian does get taunted, though. They aren't able to finish him off yet. Oh, it's so close. Big silence and tomb. I don't think it's going to matter, though. Silence. Oh, 2 for nothing. Not quite enough to end them. Oh, actually, it can be if they take down mid, and that's what they're going to do. Alarak is going to go babysit this point. Tychus is coming too. Everybody's coming here. They being Crimson 5, need to come down here right away. And Leoric will spawn here fairly soon. I don't know if they have time to do this. Oh, this is going to be so tight. Once Dahaka gets this, that's enough channeling. Here goes, there's Falstad. Oh, there goes Falstad. Right, nice toss by Aram. Oh, unless Tychus pulls off a miracle here. But no. Game number 2. And the reverse sweep going over to the new kids on the block. Crimson 5. Army's making them earn it, though, not going down quietly. Well, then. Apologize to Fracture for adding an EN to the first part of his name and calling him Frankenshire the entire match. Well, that was a series. I haven't casted in a hot minute. And if I was going to come back to a series, that was one heck of a series to come back to. Crimson 5. Almost like they're 2 different teams, the second, third of game number 2 on. And they take 2 points. U.S. Army Esports will be going home with 1. Let's see if we can get somebody from Crimson 5 in for an interview, as we have NGS Season 14 opening night. And what a way to open. All right, so while we're trying to hunt down somebody from Crimson 5. That was a fun set. That was a very fun set. Games 2 and 3 in particular. Game 3 was very back and forth. But that Alarak got a lot of value. And as I was speculating that the Falstad might be kind of vulnerable, and he was. Falstad is a pretty squishy hero. So we'll give them another minute or two. And if we don't have a representative, we'll just close it out sans interview.
All right then. Just wait a
Hey,
second. We have another player coming.
that's all right. How are you?
Yes, that's you.
So we have Rewind from Crimson 5 joining us for a quick post-match interview. First of all, new team, right?
Oh wait, I need to invite him. Just a second.
All right, now we have Rewind and Yoon from Crimson 5 joining us. Welcome, guys. First of all, new team to NGS, right?
Yes, that's right.
And if my homework is correct, I know Rewind, you had done a little subbing in seasons past, and I know Shadonis had a few seasons of activity, but pretty much everyone else is new to NGS. Is that right?
Yeah, this is my first time playing for NGS.
Well, congratulations on the win. That's a
Thank you, thank you.
it's a pretty
Thank you.
good debut there. U.S. Army Esports has been around for a good couple seasons. They're a solid squad. Game 1 was kind of controlled by those guys. Wasn't dominated, but they kind of seemed to be in control of the game throughout. And then much of game 2 was the same. And then something seemed to switch around level 20. From your guys' perspective, what happened in game number 2 that flipped that game around?
Well, I think Bala was the key here. I mean, when I hit 20, I can just spawn my Q and E, and dodge shields, stuns, and that. I got lucky. I mean, I dodged Sonya's stun for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe I have a sixth sense for that.
Yeah, when
We
we
definitely had a lot of problems with our rotations, especially in the early game. Not only in the first game, but also second game, the early game, our rotation wasn't really on point. But we were able to win those team fights, largely due to Yun's performance overall.
Yeah, not just the Vala. I noticed a couple of times those big splash ancestrals were so huge to recharge you guys right in the middle of a fight when it seemed like it could kind of go either way. You get this big green splash and everybody's at full health again.
Yeah, that's why that's why Rigor is so OP, right? Although I was definitely struggling with the healing reduction from the Mastio. So he successfully got the healing reduction twice on my ancestral.
All right. Well, big momentum riding into game 3. Talk about game 3, how that went. It was kind of very back and forth, but you guys able to close it out and pick up the reverse sweep. How'd that game play out from your guys' end?
Oh well,
You want to talk about it?
the Hagaf was the key here. I mean, in this map, all you have to do is soak. We got lucky that we had the Haka. He's been soaking very well for us.
And what
Yeah,
are your
another key point I would point out is entering leap of faith into their most devastating combo, so they couldn't even land any one of those.
Yeah, and Yoon, you seem to be picking on Falstad there with that Alarak. He looked pretty squishy to jump all over him, huh?
I wasn't looking for him. I mean, he was the only squishy in their team, so I had to take it.
So talk about kind of how your team came together. I know Rewind has been around NGS a couple seasons. I assume he opted to put the team together. But how did you find your rookies? How did you get Shadonis involved? How'd you come together, and how's it going?
Yeah, that's a good question. I can tell about it. So we had a few players for the tryout, actually 5 players, and then we rated each other's performance. So then whoever gets the better rating will make the team. So that's how we locked in 4 of our positions, and they all happened within just 1 week.
Wow, 1 week to throw together a team. That's actually pretty impressive.
A brand new team, yes.
All right, well, congratulations on the win and a really fun set for anybody who was watching, or for those of you who came in late from the other team. Go back and watch game 2 in particular was absolutely bananas. Any shout outs or thank yous on your guys' way out the door?
Well, I guess we're gonna thank ourselves for playing hard for the victory.
I want to thank you for casting this game.
Oh, you're welcome. It seemed criminal that we'd have the opening match or one of the opening matches of season 14 not casted. So I got permission from Mrs. Mongoose, and here we are.
I'm going to rewatch the game. I really want to hear the comments. I mean, to study the game and improve our game.
Well, the one thing I think I noticed in particular, and I touched on this a little bit in the game too, and you guys actually already alluded to it too. I think Rewind said this. The rotations lacked a little bit of decisiveness. Like you could kind of watch the 5 of you, and you could see in Towers of Doom, you actually had a huge illustration of this. You guys won that team fight in the top lane, and then you guys all kind of scattered to the wind rather than everybody doing something together decisively. You kind of all scattered around. So I think when you go back and watch when you guys mentioned the rotations, I think that's what you're going to see more than anything else is kind of the decisive unit cohesion that you guys just haven't had time to develop because you're a new team. I think that's what you're going to see more than anything.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of talking to do after this. Finding out our weaknesses and fixing them.
All right, guys. Well, congratulations again. Tell Shadonis I said hi. And enjoy your win, and we'll catch you guys soon. Have a good night.
Good
Yes,
night,
thanks
too.
so much for casting.
You're very welcome.
See ya.
All right, that is Yoon and Rewind from Crimson 5. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will do it for me. Thank you so much for hanging out for Season 14's NGS debut. I will be back Thursday, I believe, at 6 o'clock for the Regen Rebel LTK GoldenEye game Division D East. So come by, hang out for that. In the meantime, enjoy all the rest of the NGS action this week. And the other place I'll be is, I believe, Raka, knock on wood, if I'm remembering correctly. Raka is casting my squad, Roll One Esports, Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific time. If you're so inclined, come hang out for that. Otherwise, I hope everybody has a good evening, and we will see you in the Nexus. Good night.